Hello.
Hello. Greetings, young Nic Davis.
How are you?
I'm outstanding. I'm
Yeah,
outstanding. How are you, kind sir?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a busy few weeks. Um,
Yeah,
definitely busy. I mean, we went what 3 weeks
yeah.
since our last stream here, and yeah, I mean, life's busy for both of us. What happened in all that time? I'm trying to think. It's been
I
what?
went down to Kentucky, something of an emergency run.
Uh,
Uh, was able to sort of stabilize things.
okay,
Um, put in my grandpa and my father stability and help things out a little bit.
gotcha.
So there was that. Um, got to see good old Lexington, Kentucky, which is a city that's I'm fond of.
Yeah,
And you know, last time I was with you, did we have the dog Queenie?
Queenie.
We were doing um,
I don't remember hearing about Queenie. No.
we were doing foster parenthood
Okay. Okay.
for a dog, a puppy, 3 month old yellow lab named Queenie that we both fell greatly in love with.
Oh.
And the deal was we had to return her
Mm-hmm.
last week for her to go up to Green Bay to be part of an ad that was going to be aired during the NFL draft that was going on in Green Bay.
Okay.
And we were kind of delighted with the idea of seeing her on television.
Yeah.
Um, but we watched, the third. They said it was going to be on the third day. The third day of the NFL draft is
Uh-huh.
uh, relatively torturous to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay, they got the linebacker from South Dakota. The first round, you get one player per team, and you're
Right.
watching to see how the Packers are doing, and they got an exciting draft pick. It was the first time in my life that they drafted who I wanted to in the first round.
Yeah.
Uh, but the third round is relatively.
It's rough.
I'd say I was feeling tortured, and I know Mary was.
Yeah.
And they didn't air the ad.
Oh.
All that we watched for hours. We took a break, and maybe it was during then, but I looked up on YouTube and other things to see if the ad
Mhm.
was, and it wasn't.
Darn. Yeah.
So Queenie missed out on her moment of glory.
Her
Yeah,
15
we're
seconds.
kind of in love with her, but she does poop a lot all over the house.
Oh, yeah. That's
So we're hoping that someone we know will be able to um, foster her for this summer
okay.
and housebreaker, and then a nearby neighbor of ours will be able to, who also is interested, will be able to completely adopt her, and then we'll have her in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah,
That'd be good. Yeah.
I was in love with Queenie.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
that a
that's
great name for a dog too?
yeah, right, Queenie.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What about you?
Man, I don't gosh, I think the last time we met was 3 weeks ago. My kids were on spring break and I was sick. Yeah, I was sick. I was in the middle of a cold.
Yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, since then, I've had to go back to office, so return to office for all employees. So that happened. Um,
every day you have to be in there.
well, I still have my 410 schedule, so I have Mondays off, and hopefully they don't mess with that, making everybody go back to regular, you know, 5 day a week work schedule. But um, so for now, I have in office every day, Tuesday to Friday. And let's see, then we had Easter, so that was a bit ago. Had a bunch of family that visited, not necessarily for Easter, which is it worked out, but we had gotten for my daughter, my older daughter, she's 11, almost 12. She's really big into, well, she gets into things and she kind of, it obsesses for a bit. Her and a few of her friends were pretty into Hamilton and
Oh, the
Broadway
Broadway
show.
show.
Yeah.
I've
And
never seen that. I watched part of it.
yeah, so well, I've never watched the TV version, but we learned they were coming to town last fall. So for Christmas, we bought her tickets for her and two friends that she could bring along, and so that was actually the Saturday before Easter. Uh,
Marvelous.
so yeah, but we bought her and her two friends tickets to go. So
Now,
but
were you?
we had a total of 8 of us there. So my aunt from Missoula, Montana, and my cousin with her, and then my wife and I, and then my youngest daughter. She didn't want to be left out, so she went, and it was cool. We really enjoyed it. It was incredibly entertaining. So so incredibly relevant. I mean, it's just crazy when you look at the political fight. You know, Washington, all of the politicking that was going on today, still fighting for democracy, and so boy, what an interesting, uh, I don't know, parallels, right? So
I've got to watch it one of these nights.
yeah. So I mean, it's a Broadway show about, I mean, democracy, really. I mean, there's different perspectives and storytelling, of course, which makes it a really beautiful, neat thing. Um, and of course, my daughter, she knows all the songs and lines because she's listened to it, and so she was really into it with her friends. But
That's
yeah,
tremendous. Was there
great.
something about Hamilton that was unique
Was there anything unique about it?
about
Uh,
him, Alexander Hamilton?
Gosh, I mean, being credited with the federal financial system, I mean, that was unique. There was some stories about his personal life of men who were less than faithful. So some interesting stories there. But I mean, I'd say it was just an overall. I mean, there was a lot of diligent, or his vigilance to kind of a responsible system. All of the things that he wrote in terms of Constitution, Bill of Rights, I mean things of that nature. Just historical. I mean, I didn't realize he was involved in so much. I just always thought of like, oh yeah, there was a duel one day, and it was Hamilton and Burr, and I can't remember what else I learned in middle school, elementary school. Who knows, right? But
Same
yeah,
here.
it was a good story. Um, and it made me also think of Burr. I mean, and his involvement, and I mean, he wasn't the worst person, but yeah, interesting overall. A lot of representation of in the Black community, portraying historical figures, of course, in this play, which was really neat and an interesting take on it. I a shameless thing here. I enjoy watching Bridgerton with my wife, and it's always interesting how they mix in historical details with some social drama, and so yeah, I kind of had a little bit of that vibe to it. Taking some liberties with storytelling and some drama, and music was really beautiful.
That's tremendous.
Yeah. So I thought it was good. It was fun, definitely worth it if you can catch it on tour. And I mean, even better if it's anybody can make their way to New York and go to Broadway and see the real Broadway show. It'd be
The
cool.
real deal.
Yeah,
All right. Well, that's a word to the wise. Are
yeah,
you ready? Are you ready to see how the Snapdragons are doing?
I am. What do we got going? Any buds? Any?
Yes,
Yes. Let's
we're
see.
making progress for the first time.
All right, all right. Let's see. Oh, look at that. We got some little babies, some little meeps.
Yes,
Yes.
they're making progress. They're coming in.
That's cool.
I'm so proud to know that I didn't kill the second batch of things.
Yeah, so what are we doing? Are we misting to wet them down, or are we actually watering with like a
I'm
can?
watering.
Yeah. Oh, well, I wasn't sure what the best method was, but
Oh, I don't know either. That's the only one I know. But I just every other day I do half a mug or one third of a mug of coffee.
uh, okay. Nice.
Hello, young lady. Black Raven Meditation.
Good to have you.
Excellent, excellent to hear from you.
Yes. Thank you for joining.
Excited to catch the cast today. We'll try to live up to that.
Well, hey, the energy is good. The plants are growing. That's a win. We'll take that for now. So
Absolutely.
the vibes are
And we
right.
have a spectacular song to share.
That's right. That's right. So where do you want to go from here, John?
Yeah, one of my lead-ins is one of my favorite bands of the '70s was the Staple Singers,
Hmm.
and they did solo albums, pops, um, and what's her name? Mavis is still putting out records. She's
Wow.
still alive. They were a civil rights anthem type band in the '70s and '60s, and I always wanted to see them. Summerfest here in Milwaukee, we have this uh, concert venue that gives like 25 concerts in a week's time. I watch for them every year, and I've never seen them. Now they're slowly dying off, but Mavis is still around. Maybe I'll still see her. But I thought we'd listen to one of their classic hits.
Yeah. Sounds good. I will let's tee it up here. I'm gonna
People are
try
allowed to get up and dance.
there we go. All right. I'm gonna try something a little different for our viewers today. We're gonna we're gonna share audio and screen for this demonstration today. So appreciate y'all being here and checking it out.
We'll be watching you boogie.
Nice. So let's see. I'm gonna put the title here. I'm gonna post that what we're doing. Switch to this. All right.
I can't understand my friend why some folks think freedom is not designed for all men. There are so many people living their life perplexed, wondering in their mind what's gonna happen next. But freedom the highway, but each and every day. Found dead people in the forest, Charlie had the river and lake. Whole world is wondering what's wrong with the United States. Well, we want peace, if it can be found. Marching freedom the highway, but I'm not gonna turn around. I think I voted for the right man. Said we'd overcome. until the day is done. Lord, the freedom highway. Lord, each and every day. Lord, the freedom highway. Lord, each and every day. And I won't turn around, get up my mind. And I won't turn around. Keep on marching. On Freedom's Highway. What?
All right.
I could hear that song for 10 minutes
Yeah.
and just dance to it and get into it. What I hear there is joy and strength.
Yeah.
Maybe, combining. The joy gives the strength and the strength gives the joy.
Yeah. I definitely, there was a lot of just pure perseverance, resiliency, strength, joy, yeah.
Beautiful.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well, I hope that came across pretty well on the viewer side too. It looked like it was there, and found a way to add our little mugs off to the side on there as we did that, so that we were still part of the engaged audience. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's a neat bit of history lesson as well. So yeah.
Music, joy, perseverance, resilience. Like we talked last time, when we were talking about the Celtic thing,
Mm-hmm.
art and rebellion through beauty. Rebellion through beauty is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, today, the theme. Little backstory. 6 years ago, my friend John and I, maybe 7 years ago, these years are flying by. My friend John Ehlers and I, he's a great photographer.
Okay.
He was a professional photographer. Did a lot of beautiful shots in his career, hundreds. We decided to make a book together.
Oh.
Which remains unpublished. But we're still trying to find an agent.
Yeah.
And maybe we can put it out on Patreon. But it's called Before the Light Wanes. Before the Light Wanes.
Before the Light Wanes. WANES, Wayne?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's, before ecological destruction becomes too bad, And the idea, I called it environmentalism for the rest of us. In the sense of trying to, not talking about, carbon footprint and statistics and data and parts per million.
Right.
Am I getting feedback?
Not sure. Are you still?
I'll speak. Yeah, I'm hearing a little bit of reverb or something.
Interesting.
Is that it from my side?
Yeah, I don't hear it.
I can just proceed. All right. I hope it's not distracting to our people that are watching. Can you hear that?
I can't hear it. No.
Okay. I'm hearing it, but maybe other people are not, so I'll just proceed. We're trying to get people to...
Let's see. Black Raven can hear it.
Oh, Black Raven says she can hear it?
Yeah. Okay. Not
Hello
sure
there.
if it's just from your dialogue or mine. Um,
It's
yeah,
just from mine.
just
It may
from
have stopped now.
it stopped now.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
All
pressed
right.
a magic button.
Well, there we go.
Okay. You're a genius. Um, okay, so what I was trying to say was, um, let me pull this up. We're trying to get people to fall in love with nature and fall in love with the earth through his photographs and my musings on them. And I thought today I would share his photos and what I wrote on each one. There's 31. We won't do all 31. We'll do about 5.
Okay.
Um, but does that sound like a good plan to you?
That sounds good. Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, I'm going to put the first one up here. First photo. Can you see that?
I can. Yeah. Before the light wanes. Okay.
And it's a picture of, looks like sun setting,
Uh
and
huh.
you're looking up at a set of trees, or it could be the sun rising.
Right.
All right. So I write. So then this is my commentary on that picture. I'll put the picture back up after I'm done reading it.
Okay.
A book with photographs and verbal musings such as this one appeals to the vision sense and to the discursive mind. That is fine as far as it goes, but it's only going to compel you so much, incite you only so urgently to an evolution of love for this earthly experience. We would like to go beyond that in this book to a fuller experience for you,
Mm.
but are dependent upon your willing use of your imagination. We hereby invite you to step into a fuller, more sensual experience of nature via this book.
Mm.
Nature itself is the most extravagant and lush sensual experience. It is flagrantly delectable, consoling, arousing, delicious, discordant, harmonious, aromatic, subtle yet powerful, exciting, daunting, calling to that within you which is a million years old. You do know that you have something within you that is a million years old, don't you?
Mm.
Call it primordial awareness, mystery, collective consciousness, unborn mind. The literal stardust you are made of. There is something vast within you that yearns to be acknowledged and expressed. There is a knowing that craves to be known. It is an itch that wants to be scratched. You see it and smell it, taste, hear, and feel it as you encounter nature. As you sit before the pine tops and stars in this scene, you intuit it with your sixth sense.
Mm.
But first, there is simply the celebration of nature's sensuality, letting it register in your marrow and heart. Let's explore this. Can you smell the pine tops pictured here? And does that bring any memory back for you? Do you smell anything else in the air, like rain or the first hint of snow or smoke? Campfire, cigarette, grill? Sit as still as you can with this photo and pay close heed to your olfactory senses. What message are they registering from you? What is emanating from these trees? Can
Mm.
you taste this photograph? No, we have not lost our minds. Imagine yourself not looking at a photograph, but immersed in an evening scenario. Your family members or friends not far off, but in your quiet solitude, you can open your mouth and let the air touch your tongue. Breathe in and breathe out and taste. Tastes like pine, doesn't it? And what does pine taste like for you? Anything else? What are you hearing? An outboard engine propelling a speedboat nearby? An ATV on a road 100 yards from here? Children laughing? Parents calling to those children? Complete and utter silence? As you listen deeply enough, maybe you can hear the sound of drums, indigenous drums from 200 years ago. Maybe you can hear animals rustling in the undergrowth. Uh-oh, you just heard a mosquito buzz. Sorry. And there is a bird's wings fluttering overhead. Can you hear the earth itself? Is it humming a song? Take your time and listen without judging the question. How does this photograph make you feel? Can you feel the evening cool begin to settle in? Do you feel a little haunted or enticed by the pine tops? Are you enchanted by stars overhead? Is there a breeze or is it utterly still? Do you feel exuberant to be out in nature or worry about the decline of insect life? What is the temperature on your skin? Can you feel your muscles responding to the air out here? How about your heart?
Mm.
What about your intuitive sense? Can you intuit any presence beyond the obvious here? Can your intuition sense how these trees feel? Can your intuition gather any meaning from the stars that were looked upon by people from this very site for hundreds of years? Can you intuit those other viewers and how they felt about this scene? What became of their lives? Sit in silence with these questions and let the photograph come alive inside you.
That's really cool.
Good. You liked it?
I like that.
Excellent. You got any other response? I'll put you on the spot here.
Yeah. I think I was really, I found my mind sort of clinging on to exploring while you read the caption or description, or what would you call that? How would you title that?
Musing.
Musing. Okay. Was this intuitive, collective consciousness? And that really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Because then it does really, I mean, you can go so deep with that, and sometimes we do here, but I will just say that once I begin to think of it in that way, it reminds me a bit of combining, which we talked about with Nora Bateson.
Yeah.
In that, now a part of us is your buddy John Ellers. Now a part of us is this idea of the drums from the indigenous peoples hundreds of years ago, and this collective consciousness really resonates with me as I think about generation after generation of just call it evolution, call it shared consciousness, whatever it may be, how we as humans continue despite setbacks to continue to evolve.
Yeah.
Even when it looks like sometimes we regress. What is it that continues to move us as a race of people, of beings, sentience, and so on. It's really a beautiful, magical phenomena. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a gift. It's a gift that we have. We talk about a lot of differences between humans and all the other species of life on Earth, and it's a gift to have what we have and to convene with so much life on this planet. So, yeah.
It's definitely a gift.
So, yeah.
it makes me want to get out and hike the Ice Age Trail near here.
Yeah.
I'll do as soon as we get a little bit warmer weather. All right, now I've got one
Beautiful.
that I really love, even though I wrote it.
You got one, let's see, squirrel. Looks like a squirrel. Okay.
That's a squirrel.
Yeah.
On a snowy branch.
And I'm going to attempt to do something here. Yeah. Let me see here. Share again. Let's go with this. And here we go.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
The powers of technology.
That's right. That's right.
Is that what they call a screenshot?
Yeah, I mean, we're sharing the screen, so yeah. But yeah, there you are.
Good. That's perfect to have it up while I'm reading.
For sure.
Are you ready?
I am.
Are you ready, Corey and Mary? Salutations to you. Oh, do you have what I wrote up there?
It's there, but I think it's hard. It might be harder for the viewers to read through. But yeah.
Okay. My name is Edwin, and you are? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that through the filter there is between us. But I will learn your name or sobriquet in due time. Yes, I'm Edwin. Edwin Spotswood Scurius V, or the Fifth, if you must. Welcome to my snow-covered tree limb. It's a bit chilly and damp, but I adore it because of the perspective it grants me on the passing parade of humanity beneath. You are an adorable species and quite oblivious. Mother Gaia brought me forth. You refer to her as the Earth, the planetary sphere spinning through space on its axis, performing its annual circumnavigation around the solus, or sun to commoners, expressed me. Something about her had to exude squirrel 50 million years ago, and here was my species of animal, my tribe, manifestations of some sort of inner, hidden, implicate order of this world. Mother Gaia sees squirrel as a verb, as in, I must squirrel now, see you in an hour, and we come tumbling forth in profusion. If we didn't come, who would perform all our necessary tasks for the good of the greater animal community? Did you ever think about that? I am an expression of Mother Earth, on which you live, of which you are a part. I am, as such, an indicator of something about the nature of this planet. I am an existential pouring out from the inner essence of Earth. Therefore, I am inordinately proud. I am not without awareness of the tragic nature of life. No. My dear sister Edwina Attleboro Scurius was out for her postprandial walk when she came upon a road with automobiles scurrying about and began to back off from the road. Thought better of it and decided to make a run for the other side of the road. Thought better of that and backed off from the road again, but at the last moment thought better of that again and made an earnest effort to cross the road, perhaps thinking she could finesse the car tires rapidly approaching. She was transformed into that miserable artifact you humans refer to as roadkill, and was left to decay in ignoble fashion, much to my everlasting chagrin. I attempted to bring her heartbroken posthumous honors, but the road remained busy with cars throughout the evening, and things went from bad to worse with her remains. The same fate befell my cousin, Cincinnatus Scurius II, just last year. He was a bit of a rascal, always absconding with other squirrels' nuts, quite a chirper, a barker, often seen hanging upside down on trees as he surveilled bird feeders from afar, once successfully defeating a maze of traps and hazards to arrive at the delectable feeding trough, to the amazement of all of us. He was bold, beautiful, brazen, and slick, a bit of a genius in his own way, it must be said. I adored him with a sort of awe. He was fleeing squirrel hunters in a rare moment of panic, and he met his end under tires, which angers me, I must admit. He had so much to live for. He was a brilliant specimen of squirrel, trampled underfoot without hesitation or afterthought. You humans don't appreciate us. You think of us, I'm afraid, as the flyover country of wildlife. We know more about wind than you do. We understand the implications of light and smell and sound better than you do. We know where the birds are hours before you even think of them. We know the nature of trees, the value of grass, the exquisite charm of shrubbery, of which you are generally unaware. You don't appreciate us, but can you imagine how haunted you would be if you awoke one morning and we were all gone? What would that indicate to you about the direction of the animal community? What would become of Mother Gaia's need to express us? What would you think? Just say hello once in a while. Just notice us like we notice you. We are not asking to be domesticated. Please cool it with the poisons, okay? We like to be alive just like you do. And that is the squirrel. Are you talking?
Oh, yeah, okay. I am. No, that's fun. That was a fun read. I enjoyed that. And great. I mean, the image to go with it, you just, yeah, the personification is really beautiful. Yeah. Well done.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
I hope there was not some challenges with anything audio or otherwise with that. I noticed we might have lost some of our viewers during the time that you were reading. So I will look at the playback, make sure there's nothing sound wise that went awry. But yeah, it seemed good from my end. But okay. I don't know if you guys are these on personal Facebook pages? Is this something worth sharing the group or Facebook that you're a part of with this?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page and John Naylor's.
Yeah.
You and I aren't friends on Facebook, are we?
I don't know. You know what? I have not audited my friendship status with anybody on Facebook recently. So, but
yeah, I think I'll friend you and then you can share if you want to.
Yeah, definitely.
Not only for the value of sharing, but also just for the value of you, Nick.
Of connection. That's right. Of connection.
All right. So we move on. Now, one of the themes that I have in this is a woman named Mama. Now, where is her first one? Let me just get this here. A woman named Mama is writing letters to somebody named Fern, her daughter.
Okay.
And let me just get it here. I'll be right with you.
You're fine.
All right. So Mama writes to Fern. And there's the letter. Or there's the picture.
That's beautiful.
Who
took all the pictures?
John Ehlers.
Okay, so these are John Ehlers. Okay. I did just I shared what I'm sharing on the stream here for our viewers. If you're on Facebook and you do a search for hashtag, or you can click the link from our chat here. If you click this link, or you go to Facebook and type hashtag before the light wanes, you can see all of these little vignettes and photography for any of our viewers out there that would like to check it out. So
genius.
All right.
Genius. Somebody's come back on. We now have a viewer again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on now. I had this all set up to read to you, and then it went away. Just a second. I'll be right with you.
You're fine.
Come on, Mama. Where are you?
But yeah, the incredible photography work. It's really great.
Yes. He's a great pro. All right. So now here comes Mama writing to Fern. And the picture is this. All right. Dear Fern, I hate to be the bearer of ridiculous tidings, but that recycling center we were so excited about in 1989 has been closed down. The city council, whom your father calls the chain of fools, decreed in their penny pinching short term wisdom that it was no longer solvent. Has not, well, it was a mission of love to the community, but they will never understand that. Solvent has nothing to do with it. I have half a mind to walk out to the clothesline tonight and tell old Preston, city councilman, that his visits to my backyard are no longer solvent and he can hang himself on the line for all I care. Actually, he hasn't been by since I last wrote you, but Betty thinks she saw his shadow slinking around her yard. He's a distinguished city father, all right. I'm thinking maybe the city council, a bunch of men, needs the old Lysistrata treatment from their wives. Ogle it on Google if you don't know what I mean, until we are recycling again. Recycling is the least we can do. These small town fellows with their tiny little minds, surrounded by vast acreage of farmland, are a paradox. You'd think their minds, or at least hearts, would expand to match the landscape. But no. I think they have some sort of economic interest in maximizing landfill, is what I think. I went to Chautauqua, what Clara calls TED Talks for the nostalgic set, and heard a lecture about the Earth itself being changed in its chemical composition. This is hocus pocus witch doctoring, if ever there was any. It is awful to contemplate, but then the potato salad and watermelon, and I must confess, bratwurst and root beer took the edge off of my anxiety for the moment. Still, chemical composition of the earth itself being transformed by the worst, for the worst. The vast hydraulic systems of the planet, evaporating moisture up into the heavens, carrying it up there until it gathers enough volume to plummet down as rain or snow, keeping the land verdant and green, is in peril, being disrupted. Sometimes I just wish I didn't know about this. How are you? How was Joplin? I knew a crazy character who wound up living there and is probably there still, but didn't imagine you would be interested in meeting him. I'm not interested in seeing him again, so why should you be? Your daddy and I went down to the fishing hole last night, too, as he put it, before the light wanes. Such a delicious time with this man, with this man I love so. We cast into the water a few times, and unfortunately I sent my fly right under the head of this poor little loon you see in the enclosed picture. See him pointing? I think he was pointing at me to go away. The fly bounced off without hurting him, and all was well. I loved looking into the water and seeing the fish, serenely disinterested in our enticements, so fluid and strong down there. I didn't care about catching any of them, and neither did your daddy much. It was a beautiful evening, full of perfect dancing light and serene sounds, and the air so right against our skin. I was happy. I hope you are happy too. The young Parson boy died last week. He was attempting to drive a car around the hairpin turns up on the ridge after drinking 2 bottles of vodka and snorting some cocaine. He was always so troubled. His mama sang a beautiful song in German beside the casket at the graveside, and I was moved. The funny thing was, Clara speaks German, and she said it was a song about marital infidelity. Maybe that's not funny. Maybe too metaphorically true in some way. I don't know. Maybe Clara was full of it. But as I stood there looking at her, beside her son's humble, tragic coffin, I had an epiphany, or called a non-epiphany because the nature of it was to see past language and activity and gesture and clothing and even prayer, and to see emptiness, if that makes any sense. Emptiness that is almost synonymous with fullness. It was just with me a few moments, it was gone. And I was back to listening to people's commentary on the evils of the ridge hairpin curve and the question of where he got the vodka at 19 and where the cocaine. People were chatty, letting a netting of words and thoughts cover the death like clouds covering a sky. And a mother's love torn from her loved one. It's a dark sadness, and also had some sort of ecstasy accompanying it because so real, so not domesticated. I could feel a love intelligence flowing all over us from the earth, back and forth amongst us, and most of us not heeding. I felt love for the young dead boy. That's what was happening this week. I think we'll go fishing again and see if we can meet up with the same loon from last night. But no fishing rods tonight. I just want to commune in transcendent splendor. I love this place, and the only thing missing from it is you. Come visit and give a fiery speech about recycling for all to hear and be persuaded by. I love you, dear one. Mama.
Wow. And that's the loon.
That's the loon.
Pointing. that's what I see there.
What do you see?
Oh, the foot with the point up out of the water pointing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you like that one?
That was good.
That's my favorite bit of writing that I've ever done. The mama to fern stories. I've got another one here to read to you. Do you want to hear another one?
Yeah, let's do one more, or whatever you have planned. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do one more. All right, this is a beautiful picture. Oh my goodness, this picture.
Okay.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's incredible. I
love
the ripples and the reflection, the eye. Just
John's quite the pro, isn't he?
That's incredible.
I don't think Mama mentions a duck in this letter to Fern, but it's just a nice accompaniment. All right. So they're writing back and forth, and she wrote something about blockchain and Bitcoin that she didn't really get what they were about, and didn't mean anything. And then we don't read Fern's response, but now we're reading Mama's response to Fern's response.
Okay.
I did not mean to be condescending about blockchain and Bitcoin. I don't know what they are. I just dislike trends that come and go when we are not listening with our ears to the ground to the deepest resonances of life. Go ahead and block the chain and bite the coin, but pay heed to that which goes to the earth's core. It is a mirror of your own core. I have nothing but the highest respect for you and for your massive potential. Tragedy has befallen this little community. Do you remember that dog Phoebe that we had briefly? It was such a comic moment when your daddy saw her copulating outside with our Chico the Pomeranian and went out there to break it up. He poured a bucket of water on them both, which abated the passions for a brief while until they resumed. He came in and shrugged and said, "You can't fight City Hall." A puppy litter of mutts resulted from that experience. I wonder if our environmentalist friends, who rightly hail the beauty and effulgent blisters of nature, to quote our new pastor, think of dog copulation as part of the equation. Anyway, we gave away our little crazy Phoebe to Mrs. Asp down the street. Phoebe drank tomato soup from my bowl at the kitchen table, without permission, of course, and then ate one of your daddy's bowls of Cocoa Crisps on a Saturday morning, and we had to send her off. Cocoa Crisp was the last straw. Well, she was killed by Mrs. Asp in an accident yesterday. Car, driveway, inattention to detail. I'll say no more. I felt like offering condolences to Chico, but he slept right through Mrs. Asp's tearful visit last night. I felt so bad for her. I said the tears that are shed are testimony to the love that's been shared, but that didn't help much at all. Peace to her. Peace to poor Phoebe. What a way to go. Firestone tires. I'll say no more. The city council has outlawed the keeping of bees within the borders of the city. It's been a bit of a nascent movement, and people are beginning to People are raising their own honey, and some agribusiness felt threatened by a small band of citizens in beekeeping suits. Pathetic, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they were threatened by their own shadows. I went out to Larkin Laswell's house. She is a remarkable woman. She listens to everything you say in conversation, hears you all the way out, asks follow-up questions, responds fully before making her own observations. This is a lost art. She sits down on her porch listening to Miss Kitty Wells over her speakers, smoking a cigarette, the embodiment of rustic elegance. Serves up a strong Long Island iced tea, I'll tell you what. Just survived breast cancer, quietly said something like, death isn't anything more than moving on to the next song on the album. I think that's what she said. Such a fine and mysterious soul, so focused on the well-being of others, but also sharply witty in a dark way. She doesn't read the best-selling swill that passes for literature, but Pearl Buck, Flannery O'Connor, Edith Wharton, Eudora Welty. Doesn't make any big stuff and feathers about it. She just reads. When I told her about the bee nonsense, she flicked her cigarette ash into her Kentucky Derby ashtray, as if flicking away the city council, and stared into the middle distance a bit. Then said, we can start up a coven of beekeepers here on this farm. Out behind the barn, there hasn't been a soul other than our family for 100 years. We'd have to shoot down drones, but other than that, fine. Let's start the homegrown honey revolution. Her little tow-headed youngsters arrived just then, asking for liver sausage sandwiches, so the conversation cut off. I think we're on, though. Her sweet husband Jack never had a mean bone in his body and will be as supportive as your daddy is about all my ideas. So next time you see me, I might be decked out in a beekeeping costume. I don't want to be stung, but you've got to live dangerously once in a while. I've invited Gertie, Clara, Ursula, and Betty to join, and they are considering it. I'll make sure they do more than consider. I have to find out what that booze is in Long Island iced teas. The sun, the sun just now is shining beautifully on the facade of the Larrabee house across the street. Mrs. Larrabee is back in the nervous hospital, but her house is resplendent in the light. Reminds me of the radiance of your beloved face. I love you so, dear Fern. Come for a visit and let me cook you some spaghetti. Mama. Oh, you've got it up. Mm-hmm. Maybe the sun that is resplendent on Mrs. Larrabee's house is resplendent on this duck.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool. That was good.
So the book proceeds, and slowly these letters from Mama to Fern, describe the arrival of the beekeepers coven.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So that's outtakes from an unpublished book.
Yes. Your coffee table illustrated. Yeah. I like I said, I'm trying to think of what that genre, what that has. But I mean, I love it. I love the stories that kind of accompany each of these images. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I didn't get into is there's some animal council segments where animals, like a turkey, are addressing humans in a circular council type thing. There, it's like a encounter with
you got a old Animal Farm.
Oh, was that in that book?
Oh, it reminds me of it. Yeah.
I didn't read that.
I did when I was in 9th grade, but not since then. So I couldn't recall much of it, but
right.
But yeah, when you're creating a community of animals with sentience and real world problems and issues and socio-political, environmental concepts, that's really, that's what it makes me think of. So I like it. I like where you're headed with it. It's very cool.
Yeah, and they're very, very kind to us. The animal council is very, very kind to the humans that are listening.
Well, it sounds like it. It sounds like it's there's a lot more grace than, say, humans give one another.
Right.
And not in a, and it doesn't seem as though it's in a pity or condescending way, but of a curious, we coexist way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I just ask you to notice me and stop with the toxins, like the squirrel says.
And we could learn a lot from our animal brethren and sisters, with regards to patience and, dealing with us, dealing with them. Yeah. Yeah.
Amen. I
Especially.
dreamt last night that I was signed up to be a volunteer in a zoo,
Oh, okay.
and I was in the elephant cage,
Okay.
and I meditated, and it dropped its trunk down onto my lap as I was sitting there meditating. I thought that was a cool dream.
That is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You could analyze that, or you could just see it for the beauty. The truth is that you imagine that you trust and feel safety and comfort enough in an animal cage or an elephant cage to meditate.
Yeah.
That says a lot about your ability to meditate or your trust in faith in animals or both. Yeah.
Or foolhardiness. No, I think of elephants as being profoundly gentle beings that, I'm sure if I went to meditate in an elephant cage, I would have one eye cocked half open.
Yeah. Yeah. Just in case. They may not. If you're too still and shaped like a ball, they might bounce you around like their toys. So
exactly.
Yeah. Do you have elephants in your nearby or whatever?
Yes. And as a result of that dream, I want to go down to the zoo pretty soon here.
Yeah. It's interesting if they can kind of keep them in not so much caged, but give them a nice environment that enough space to mirror some. But of course, usually any good zoo is not doing it for the sake of zoo exhibiting, but if they're a good zoo worth their efforts, and there are conservationists, and they're there because these animals would not otherwise survive in the wild. So, So
you have a good zoo by you?
No, not where I live now. We had a good zoo in Seattle when I lived over there. It was a great zoo. They did have an elephant exhibit, and it was very open, sprawling, wooded. It was good. They did for what they did. It was good, and if I remember correctly, they did eventually felt as though they couldn't keep up with the needs of the elephants, and needed to breed and that sort of thing. So I believe they eventually closed the elephant exhibit because they sent the elephants off to better homes that were even better than what they could offer. So they got an upgrade. So
good.
Yeah.
Well, next time, Nick, we're going back straight into Nora Bateson.
Nora Bateson, combining. Okay.
Yep, I've started into rereading it again, so 2 times through. Hopefully, I'll understand it a little bit better than I did after one read.
Yeah. I will find it, but I had a book. I'm gonna have to. Anyway, I was looking through some boxes because we were looking at doing a garage sale in June, and I was looking through and I found some of my books, and I was like, you know what, I need to go back through these, and there might be some worth mentioning, bringing to the show. But
cool.
Until I look through them,
I hope you do.
I won't misquote it. But yep.
Good.
So
Well, right now, what I'm going to do when we get off is I'm going to go and get a rain barrel.
oh,
We what do you call that? Where you go around and you bid. I guess that's what I'm looking for. We bid on a high school hand painted rain barrel.
oh, fun.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
And did you win?
Yes, we did.
Cool.
I'm
Very
getting
cool.
it today.
Yeah, you'll have to show us some pictures of it when you next show.
Absolutely. I'll
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone who tuned in, checked us out today, or is watching after the fact. We had some good stuff out there that we showed, as well as brought you links to explore on your own. And we are not necessarily promoters of any of these, but just it's things that have touched us or been the creation of John and John squared. And yes, so definitely please check them out, look more into it, or if you're watching this after the fact, we thank you. And Black Raven Meditation, thank you as always for your commentary and participation.
Absolutely.
And we will see you next time, 2 weeks. All right.
And Mary. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
And whoever else.
Yes.
Okay.
Peace to you all.
Peace.